Have fun with it.
I will.
Enjoy it.
I'm going to show Reggie some love.
Show off Reggie. Welcome back, crew. You are back with Captain and the Swab. We are, and you are, the Staple Crew. And we have a very special one for you today. This is going to be just interview style. I'm going to open up Dad on one of my favorite stories and things for him to talk about in the world of crypto. And that is about Reggie Middleton and Veritaseum. So Dad, first question for you, just to open you up, how did you first learn about Reggie Middleton? Who is this person?
Yes. Well, we'll circle around to him. Let's talk about me first.
Okay. There you go.
Was a Forex trader for quite some period of time, well over 10 years, looking back at it now. I thought that's how I was going to make my millions, and I was pretty successful at it. And I was part of a trading group or team, if you will, and there was probably, 100 of us in this group, sharing secrets and whatnot. Well, the leader of the group found out about this competition, and the competition was trade whatever you wanted to trade, as long as Wall Street offered it as a product. And we were Forex traders, and so we thought we were going to win the competition. We were all excited, oh man, we're the best traders in the world, as everybody thinks. And there was this man by the name of Reggie Middleton, who, to a lot of people in Wall Street, came out of nowhere, and he won the competition. And everyone thought, oh, well, somebody had to win it. Nobody who knew who Reggie was. We certainly didn't, because he was trading more about Wall Street stuff, stocks. We were more Forex. Which wasn't that big a deal until he won the next year by even a larger margin. And then his face and name was all over everything. And I used to see him on TV for, like Bloomberg or whoever else. And here was this Reggie guy, and I finally got to put the face to the name because, I didn't, it was just knowing who he was as a trader, and then hearing him speak. He was a completely different person who I had pictured, so intelligent, just sharp, well-spoken, great guy. Okay. So, a period of time goes by, and I had gotten out of trading Forex, and I was doing other things and looking for good investments, and I ran into Bitcoin, as we told part of that story. And not long after that, right as soon as I started to invest, there's a guy by the name of Cliff High. A lot of people know who he is. He interviewed Reggie. And I said, wow, that's Reggie Middleton. That's the guy who won the competition, which wasn't even in Cliff's video, but that's how I knew who he was. Once you hear his voice and you see him, very distinct man, and amazing man.
Yeah,
so
very interesting.
That's how I got to know who he was. And then he was introducing a cryptocurrency or a crypto product that I was learning about, because at that time, early in my crypto investing career, there was very few cryptos out. So, yeah, that's how I that's how I found out who he was. Yeah.
Nice. What did he create, and how did you get involved?
He created a thing called Veritaseum, which was pennies, literally pennies, when I first heard about it. And was that interview with Cliff. And I thought, well, this is interesting. But as soon as I heard the interview, I'd heard a little bit about what Veritaseum was. I didn't necessarily associate it with Reggie. But it wasn't until I saw the interview that everything clicked. Everything came together for me, because I'm a trader. What he was as a trader, what he created was the perfect trading system for cryptocurrency, and he hit it out of the park. He read the white papers of Bitcoin, and got 10 or 11 of his favorite brilliant minds surrounded him, and they came up with this thing called Veritaseum, that is essentially a peer-to-peer trading ability, I'll call it, that brings it to any trading. It doesn't have to be stocks. It doesn't have to be cryptocurrencies. Any form of trade can be done with this system, and it's peer-to-peer. It's person-to-person. And he learned the weaknesses of the trading of Wall Street because of the commissions and the gaps between the two. What he knew from being a trader was he has to trade against the house, not just the stock.
Right.
Okay? And he built Veritaseum to circumvent that. And the way he did it was brilliant, because I'm going to tell you a little inside scoop about trading. When you go to make a trade, the house has the buyer and the seller already. They already know where they're going to sell the stock. They already have a buyer and a seller. So they know the price that you're willing to accept, and they know the price that the other party is willing to accept. Okay? That middleman is taking a lot of profit from you. And it's the way the system's been built, and it's been running that way for 100 years. And Reggie came along and said, I'm tired of paying all those commissions. I just want to buy the Apple stock, and somebody owns one. Why can't I just give him my, $1,000 and take $1,000 worth of Apple stock from him? Why do I need that big building with all these employees? So that's what Veritaseum did. Totally generalizing that whole thing, but that's basically what he did, is a peer-to-peer, person-to-person transaction that is done with what's called a smart contract. That's a whole nother probably video, but a smart contract to where two parties come together and agree upon what they've decided to accept for value for token, and it automatically happens. There's no middleman, no commission, no spread, no lag. For you traders out there, it's instant, and it's brilliant. It's amazing what he's created. And I got it from the moment he said what it was. I was like, oh my God, I have to have some of that. I'm buying that. Yeah, I knew it immediately. Yeah.
Buyer, seller, barter system. And at the time,
Pure
it was
barter.
2015-ish.
Yeah.
Right in there. I think they created it 2014.
Right. He wrote the patent, submitted a patent in 14 for it. Yeah. I heard about it in probably late 16, early 17. Yeah.
After its creation, Dad, what happened to Veritaseum? Can you give us a little scoop on where it went after that, after its creation?
Those were the ICO days, the initial coin offering, and they were all based on Ethereum's platform, which is called ERC20. He launched it, took off kind of slow at ICO, and everybody heard about it, everybody knew what it was, but nobody really got into it. It was very difficult to buy. I tried to buy it, I couldn't buy it. You had to change your address, and you had to, we tried to and couldn't do it. It exploded. It took off. I know people that made a lot of money when it went to $10. I know a lot of people that made a lot of money when it went to $60. People were selling it for $90 thinking they won the lottery. At one time it went to $500 from 5-10 cents. So you can do the math on that. It made a lot of people a lot of money. Right about then, the entire market crashed, and it dropped as much as any of them did, but it didn't. It shouldn't have dropped as much as it did. And 2019,
Yep.
he was, gosh, how do I put this politely? The SEC came after him and him alone. Of the 10,000 different tokens out there, they came after Reggie. And you ask yourself, why? Well,
Why
SEC,
Reggie?
yeah, why Veritaseum? I mean, he didn't do anything that all the rest of them didn't do, right? How come they were after him? Well, he clearly had created something that backdoored or went around their way of making profit, and they came after him with every lawyer they had, and confiscated 98% of all of his tokens. Of 100 million tokens, they confiscated 98 million of them, and left only the ones that we all owned out there, still in the market. And
Yeah.
it was brutal. It was unjust what they did to that man. And you can, I'm not going to point anybody out, but you can come to your own conclusions why they did it. Yeah.
Right.
And it's a better way to trade. It's a more sensible way to trade, and it doesn't make Reggie wealthy. It makes everybody who owns a Veritaseum token wealthy, right? And it's just of course it makes him wealthy as well because he owns a lot of them. But anybody was able to buy them, and you can still barely buy them. It's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope I answered that.
You did.
Okay.
You did. I mean, that's the story.
Yeah.
Sticking to it.
Yeah.
How about today? Now, what is the big news? What is the recent news that we've heard? Jumping now from 2019 to today, what are we hearing now about Reggie? What are we hearing about Veritaseum?
Well, now this is where stories like this we don't get to hear about very often. And these are those feel-good stories that I've been a part of. And I just told the story of how long I've been involved in this. This man was just awarded his patents, which I believe are over 40 pages long, describing everything about his idea back in 2014 by Japan and the US patent system. He was awarded this. This means that not only is Veritaseum a viable product, it's the most efficient way for anyone to trade anything, not just stocks or cryptos. It cuts out so many middlemen, and now he has the paperwork to prove his efforts. And a lot of his accusations by the SEC were that he wasn't providing a service. I can't remember exactly how they worded their complaint against him, and they found him guilty of fraud, I believe.
Alleged securities fraud in August of 2019 because VERI tokens were unregistered securities.
Yeah.
Were the charges drawn up?
Yeah, and some fraud was in there as well, but because they said it was not a viable product or something. I can't remember exactly how it was.
Yeah, I've seen it worded in different places, different ways, but they said it had no functionality, basically. Because
remember, what the SEC's job, supposedly, is to protect the public from scams or scam artists or people that are taking our money, anything to do with trading a stock, or now they've thrown their hat into the crypto ring. And that's basically what he got accused of. And now he has patents to prove that it's not a scam. It's an entirely new way of trading anything of value. And it's going to be huge. And I'm so happy for him. The the personal attack, I don't want to get too deep into this, but I followed this case through 19 when they were throwing everything but the kitchen sink at this man. When he was only weeks away from actually having a physical operating exchange using Veritaseum to build the entire exchange on in Jamaica. And they stopped it dead in its tracks weeks before it opened because, well, you can come to your own conclusions why they did that weeks before it opened. Yeah. So now look forward to maybe the Nikkei, which is the Japanese exchange, and the American stock exchange going to a system like that in a day in our future. Coming to you. Yeah.
We've just to me it's like the genesis of DeFi has just been found. The tablets have just been recovered.
Yeah.
And now we have this great tool. We have this information. We've got this system that.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I want to speak directly to anybody out there who has a brilliant idea. Don't give up.
Yeah.
Keep fighting. Keep trying. Have hope. Believe that it can get better. This man is proof of that. I honestly believe that this man will be legendary. He's intelligent. He's smart. He created a brilliant idea. And instead of embracing this man, other things happened to him that was unnecessary. This man should be looked upon for his brilliance, and his product is going to be what most people don't understand. And what Veritaseum did was put all the profit in the little man's pocket. That's kind of big. I mean, that's really huge on a global, scale. It's trillions of dollars in commissions that we spend. Why? What are they doing? Why are they charging us all those commissions? But I really want to address how proud I am of people like Reggie and his brilliant mind changes worlds. Minds like his, minds like any of us. We should be backed up. We should be supported with brilliant ideas, not put in a closet and told that go away. It's sad to me. And we say we have an open and a free system, but it's free until you start getting into their pockets, and then you're not free any longer. And that it's sad because he's come up with this brilliant idea, and now I'm babbling on, but I'm so proud of him and his tenacity, and he will not be stopped. And this system, with or without Reggie, it's out there now, and it's moving, and he's going to be looked upon to fix many exchanges around the world with his process, and I'm so excited for him and his family. Yeah.
Thank you for the story, Dad.
Yeah.
I'm going to take away from that is you listen to Reggie for 5 minutes and you see somebody that believes in themselves. You can just hear it in his voice. And so we're shooting that at each other and back to you guys. Just keep believing in yourself. Yeah. And you got this. Go for it. You can make it happen.
Congratulations, Reggie.
Congrats.
You deserve it. On that note,
we are
out.